Good morning, my name is Guiting Wang. Today I'm going to talk about the problems and the management of flying foxes in Queensland. Generally, I have divided my presentation into these four parts. Firstly, I'm going to show you some of the flying foxes' behaviors, and then I will discuss the problems caused by those behaviors. And next, I'm going to show you some reasons for flying foxes choosing to live in urban areas. And finally, I'm going to show you some management for flying foxes in urban areas. Now let's look at the distribution of flying foxes first. Flying foxes are migratory mammals that fly across eastern and northern Australia. Basically, there are mainly four kinds of flying foxes living in Queensland. The spectacled flying foxes inhabit in the areas along the northeast of Queensland. And the little red flying fox have the largest habitat. They are widely spread from West Australia along the north coast to Queensland and the south coast to Victoria. The black flying fox are commonly found in coastal and near coastal areas in northern Australia. The grey-headed fly fox are found traditionally in eastern coast of Australia from Behaviours in Queensland to Melbourne in Victoria. But in 2010, they were found roosting and foraging outside their traditional areas, like they began to occupy some inland areas as far southwest as Adelaide. In terms of flying fox behaviors, some are thought to be problematic. The first one is migratory behaviors. They are nocturnal animals. Normally, they are highly mobile and are capable of a long-distance flight. So, they will undertake a great number of nocturnal movements in search of food and shelter. The second one is foraging behavior. Traditionally, they feed mainly on blossom and fruit from a wide variety of native plant species. As a result, they play important roles as pollinators and seed dispersers, which contribute to the regeneration of native rainforest. The behavior of roosting allows flying foxes to gather together in the form of camps. Their camps often with patches of dense vegetation such as rainforest or mangroves. The roost sites provide places as shelters and not only for social interactions but also for rearing young. Camps might be occupied on a permanent or seasonal basis and normally can support hundreds to tens of thousands of individuals. But the number of flying foxes in a camp varies at different times of the year. Many camps are now located in urban areas where provide adequate amount of food. From this picture, we can see that this is the data collected by Federal Environment Department. It shows an increasing number of green-headed flying foxes moving into Sydney urban areas from 2012 to 2015. And we can also see that the size of camps change at different time of the year. Now let's look at the problems that caused by flying foxes' behaviors. The behavior of migration will cause severe damage of traffic amenities. For example, on 7th October 2015, a Qantas airplane from Brisbane was hit by a flying fox during flight, causing a significant crack to the flap extender on the starboard side wing. Migratory behavior also leads to the spreading of diseases and often difficult to be controlled and or prevented. because it is always hard to predetermine where those animals will move to. Even though those viruses they may carry are not deadly infectious, there are still some cases of death after people got bit or scratched and without any proper post-treatment. The problem caused by foraging behavior is the damage to commercial orchards. Because when native food is scarce, flying foxes will target any readily available food source, including the fruit in backyard and commercial orchards, such as stone fruit, pears, and lychees. However, foraging on cultivated fruit will cause a huge loss on the yield and economic profits. Nearly 42% of the damage was caused by flying foxes in Western Sydney from September 2009 to January 2010. When flying foxes are roosting and establishing their camps in rural areas, people living nearby always complain about their distinctive smell, noise, and droppings and feed on the backyard fruit trees. As flying foxes getting closer to the residents, the problems of hygiene and the risk of being attacked are raising the conflict between human and flying foxes. The reasons that why flying foxes are having a tendency roosting in urban and are believed due to the reduced habitats, the presence of introduced and commercial crops, as well as climate change. Recently, Australia is experiencing a large scale of land clearing for housing and farming projects. As a result, the habitats of flying foxes are decreasing significantly. Due to the loss of food and shelter, they have to leave their nature campsites and move to a camp with enough food. At the same time, the urban areas offer enough source of food as people have planted so many native and exotic vegetation. Additionally, climate change is also thought to be one of the reasons. As global warming, the native campsites are getting warmer, while flying foxes are not able to deal with the extreme heat very well. Therefore, some rainforests may no longer an optimal place for them to live. While in urban areas, the slightly increased temperature has made them the new habitats for flying foxes. As I mentioned above, flying foxes are very important for the reproduction, regeneration, and dispersal of plants within rainforest, so they should be protected properly. However, due to the conflict between farmers and the flying foxes, many cruel techniques have been used, attempt to decrease the number of flying foxes, therefore to reduce the damage of crops. Shooting and electrocution are used widely and resulting in a large number of flying foxes died and many young starved to death. However, this control method doesn't alert the situation of damage, because flying foxes still kept coming from other different camps. As for camp relocation, which is eventually proved to be ineffective during short term, because it needs to be repeated several times for a long period before it really works. Even though habitat loss is the main reason, shooting, electrocution, entanglements, and severe heat events are believed to be major contributors to make flying foxes endangered animals. Nowadays, many advanced and non-destructive techniques are introduced. For example, there are two kinds of netting: the full exclusion netting and the Terminal 90. And we could also take advantage of their excellent sense of smell and view sight to disperse camps. Protection of the native plants should also be encouraged, and the regeneration of forests should be highly supported. We should also raise the public awareness of their importance in ecology, in ecosystem, and have a better understanding of their behaviors, especially for people living near them. And in conclusion, there is no one quick and easy solution to these problems, because management actions should take the biology, behavior, and ecology of flying foxes into consideration. It is necessary to encourage appreciation of those wonderful animals, and people should create a harmonious life with them. Thank you for your attention.